Smart 24, driving business.
Well, a very good morning to you watching. Today is the 8th of August 2024 and welcome to yet another edition of Smart Minutes Business here at Smart 24 TV, where we drive your business 24/7. My name is Mercy Kitsim and I'm going to be taking you all the way to 10 a.m. Well, it is a beautiful morning actually. For most conspiracies say that the 8th of August, 8/8, it is a special day, for major something miraculous or a wish to come true in your life. Well, I don't know how about that, but then, if at all you believe in such, it could be a lucky day. But anyway, from us, we are really always glad to have you here every day that goes by from Monday to Friday. Tune in from 7 a.m. till 10 a.m. We are always here to give you the latest in terms of business. And of course, we have also entertainment and sports for that matter. Well, you can catch us. We're always live on YouTube. Just go on. You don't need your TV set. All you need is just your mobile phone. Just go on YouTube. Just type in Smart 24 TV and go to the live section. And if you're a newcomer, please don't forget to subscribe. You matter, trust me. There is a whole loads of package ready for you to watch and get informed. Well, also on our socials, you can go on Smart 24 TV official on Facebook, comment, like, and follow. On X, Smart 24 TV now, comment, like, and follow. Yeah, and of course, we have the Smart Digital application. You just go on your Google Play Store or your Apple Store, just type in Smart Digital application, and it's gonna be coming your way. You can listen in. You don't need, like I said, these are the days where you don't need your mobile phone. All you need is just, you don't need your TV set. All you need is your mobile phone and get to watch each and everything that goes by throughout the day. Well, of course, like I said, there's a lot that is happening into the country, and just a recent the medical interns were disgruntled of the fact that they need to be paid, and the interns actually wanted to go and storm Parliament, but for that matter, they really requested them to have one person represent them on behalf of the other. You know what happens in Uganda once you start, where 2 or 3 have gathered. Where 2 or 3 have gathered, there is, it's not good, it doesn't look good there, though. But if you're a one-man army, it's okay, they can listen to you, they can let you in. But where 2 or 3 have met, trust me, one of you has to go screaming and calling for mercy. Well, of course, these interns have been, requesting for, some money. Yeah, they were dissatisfied by the nature Parliament is handling their issues. Yeah, and of course, the Deputy Health Minister, Hanifa Kawoyi, actually appeared in Parliament yesterday explaining the issue of waiting doctors on this issue. And she said actually that the Minister of Finance said that they do not have enough finances. Yeah, and there are more than 2,000 doctors that need to be looked into. They also said that they need around 18 billion, and they do not have it, to pay up these interns. Now it's gonna be an internship for 1 year. Can you imagine? 1 year, it's even beyond LDC. It's now 1 year practicing, which is good actually. It is good to practice for a longer year. You never know, in the long run they could retain you if you're really good enough. So a lot is really happening, but like they have been suggesting, probably they should look into their matters and see, because a year is a very long time, you know, for a person who's staying on their own, or probably because that is their like last year. Yeah, so that is that year they expect to be working, and then, you know, they are helping, you know, they are helping out to a healthy nation, is a wealthy nation. They're helping treat the patients. And if you've noticed, actually, in most hospitals, in most hospitals, it's the interns that you know, always making sure that you're catered for. Yeah, it's true. I have been there. I've been in some hospitals. The interns really do help a lot. Even in labor rooms, they're there. They're making sure that everything is okay compared to the ones that have been already certified and whatnot. Yeah, those ones are a little bit relaxed because they're used to the situation and all. Well, there was the leader of the youth, yeah, who happens to be the president, yes, said that the former ghetto has been added 2 million by the president, you know, for some developments right there. And of course, Shafiq, who happens to be the youth leader, said that they will use these funds and other for other activities, including mobilizing other youth joining these circles to borrow money for self-development. Talk about development. This is good. Yeah, this is something that is going to help those youth in the ghetto. You know, when you talk about ghetto, you think about marijuana, you think about alcohol, but then this is a good initiative. And the fact that actually there are reasonable people in ghetto. It's just that the situation they live in is not up to standard. Actually, it's just like you staying in a place that is not up to standard, and when you tell it to a person, that, you know, like, okay, it doesn't mean that you're broke. Probably situations could have led you to live there. And the same thing as for the youth living in ghettos. The situation, probably some of them were born in there, probably some of them were abandoned by their caretakers or relatives or family, and then they have fend for themselves hence. But of course, this coming in, they're going to use their money to mobilize more youth to join the circle and borrow for the sake of their self-development is quite a good move, actually, because the more hoping they want to borrow to buy more of marijuana. There are very many skills that they can engage into. I mean, we've seen people having chapati, what are they called? Chapati stalls right there. I mean, you start small. You start small as long as you're earning at the end of the day. Even if it's 5,000, it's okay. At least you have a meal for yourself. You can, at the end of the month, you can pay your rent, you can pay your bills. It is what we want. We want to see a scot-free environment, free of the ghetto youths. Yes, as they call themselves right there. So it is good that this circle is going to help these youth redevelop themselves as time goes by. And this is a good initiative. Now, of course, looking at the women and youth in business were urged to begin for public sector borrowing on very low interest rates to enable them develop themselves. Yes, of course, looking at the youth and women being the most vulnerable people that we have around, all of actually, most especially women. Yeah, so they are really we're urging that they lower the interest rates, yeah, for their borrowing, because for women it's quite a little bit hard for you to get a loan, mostly if you're getting a bigger loan, because you do not have collateral. First of all, you don't have any security that you're going to place in Kwegamba. You're just starting on your own, and most of these women, you know, and issues of gender-based violence, so they want to get out of home and set up something really small, and they don't have collateral. It's just them and them themselves, and probably their children. So it would be of good importance if they lowered at least the interest rates, so that if they're paying, they're able to pay back. That is why we have a lot of debt defaulters, because of interest rates. Yeah, or maybe because people are not borrowing because of the interest rates. Yeah, and probably they are borrowing from these money lenders and they're getting into trouble. Yeah, but if you're a visionary woman, if you're a visionary youth, you have to understand this is for the benefit of your own good. Now, of course, they were also expressing their dissatisfaction as well on this matter. And of course, they discussed, they had a workshop organized by Microfinance Support Center just yesterday, and of course talking about saving. Just like yesterday, I was talking with Anthony here in segment financial markets, and we were, encouraging probably the Ministry of Education to incorporate this the saving. I don't know what it would be called, savings. Financial literacy, actually, financial literacy in the curriculum. It is good because, trust me, we are now as we are, that is when we are learning how to save. After you've made ridiculous losses, after you have really started overspending and now you're in debts, that is when we've learned how to save. But if it's a culture right from probably primary or secondary, it could help the future generation on how to, save themselves in case there are catastrophes. We had COVID-19, and that was a move that really encouraged people to save, that really kicked in, and people are like, you know what, I have to save. And of course, if you're saving, please save for investment. Okay, save to invest in something that is going to earn double of what you really invested in. Yeah, that is what we encourage people to do. Don't save to buy a cloth. You could buy, but then save to maybe do farming, save to maybe set up a shop, save to, there are very many things to invest in, actually. Yeah, and trust me, you won't regret it. Don't wait for your retirement money. By the time you clock 60, you have not established a house, you do not have a car. And that is when, no. We are saving for the future, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, but of course that brings us to the end of our morning call. And of course I was giving you what is aspiring in the country. Yeah, as doctors, the medical interns are still on it. And of course looking at how these the savings groups are going to be helped, most especially for the women and youth. Well, that brings us to the end of this. Let's get into what is happening into the press. With me, I have the Monitor and the New Vision, and of course, you could get yourself some of this. Well, making headlines here in the Monitor as the land registration steps. Yeah. Land registration steps which are currently being piloted in Karamoja sub-region were developed after the benchmarking study of Georgiana and land registration model in eastern Uganda. And of course, these are the 4 steps here lined up, the new 4-step land titling that is in Karamoja sub-region. If I don't want to buy some land there, so these are the steps. You have data collection and surveying, landowners fill forms and submit to surveyors for demarcation and coordinates. Yes, if you're going to be a landowner, you have to fill in a form and submit it to a surveyor. And the next step is the district land board and physical planning sitting minutes. Oh, Wow. And of course, I think this is for those that buy huge chunks of land or those that buy small plots. Wow, why would there be a sitting for just a small plot of land? Now, authorities receive data from the landowners and surveyors and seek to discuss an appropriate a way forward. Yes. And of course, the third one coming in, data processing, where the government officials then process data in order to formulate land titles and issuance of the title. The landowners are issued with the titles within 10 days from the time of filing this information. So the earlier the better really. Now, of course, government seeks 6 billion Uganda shillings to repair Ugandan house. Wow, the Uganda house that was burnt during the protests in Nairobi, yeah, just a month ago. Yeah, it was really burnt down and it wasn't looking good. Why us? Why us, honestly? Yeah, and of course, 2 lawyers in hot soup over 4 billion Uganda shillings meant for cooperatives. Well. If it isn't the topic here. Now, of course, the Anti-Corruption Court has given 2 lawyers 3 days to turn up to court to answer the queries over the 4.1 billion Ugandan shillings that was meant for compensation of Busoga growers cooperatives. Of course, they're the farmers that face it. They're the ones that really always fall victim for this. Well, and of course, defiant head teachers and owners put on notice how proposed teachers' laws affect schools. Now, of course, looking at the West Nile prepares for industrialization, and of course, finance directs on government land use. Let us know if you get yourself copies. Well, of course, Japan to fund Kampala flyover. Yes, new Karuma Bridge projects. Well, I'm seeing here UNRWA Executive Director, that is Alan Kajana, and the Premier, the Prime Minister, and of course the Ambassador to Uganda, the Japanese Ambassador to Uganda, also representing where the flyover is going to be worked on. As seeing here, it's a beautiful design that is set. Now, of course, yes, it's going to be beautiful actually. If you can see, it's really nice. If you see it from the aerial view here, it is really beautiful. The clock tower flyover, beautiful. If you've not taken time, please take time and walk through. You will see something interesting. Now, of course, government considering listing electricity agencies on stock exchange. That is the Minister for Energy. That is Honorable Ruth Nankabirwa also here. Government will consider listing its electricity agencies on the stock exchange as a way of raising finances. And of course, this was revealed by Ruth Nankabirwa presiding over the signing of internal performance contracts between the Uganda Electricity Generation Company and management of Kira and Narubare power plants in Jinja just yesterday. Yeah, and of course, government, the president also bids farewell to British envoy right here as the finance directs local governments on 1.8 trillion funds. Now, of course, the finance ministry has directed all local government accounting officers to account for funds allocated to different projects under the $500 million, which is approximately to 1.86 trillion Ugandan shillings. Yes, Uganda Intergovernmental Physical Transfers Program before the end of this very week. So the local government accounting officers have to give accountability. That is what we always talking about accountability. What have they done so far as local government? Give the balance, what was spent. That is the importance of having an accounts officer. Yeah, to always do the balances. Yeah. And of course, school bosses face 5 years in prison over the unqualified teachers. Like it was yesterday, no degree, no teaching. Yes, underqualified teachers will not be able to access their classrooms. So you have to go back and at least have a bachelor's degree for you to be a qualified teacher in Uganda. No more what were they called? Those grades they used to use in the 90s. Now at least you should have a bachelor's. Have gone to school, studied your 3 years, and you're good to go. And so quite easy if you had a diploma, it's just 2 years and you're done with your bachelor's. Yeah, and of course the National Teachers Bill 24 tabled by the Education Ministry in Parliament has significant implications for both teachers and schools. And of course, the notable provision in this bill stipulates that school owners and head teachers could face 5 years in prison for employing an unqualified teacher or one whose license has been revoked. Now, of course, according to the proposed legislation, permitting permitting anyone to teach or continuing to employ a teacher after being notified of their registration or license revocation constitutes an offense. So if you're a teacher, look out. If you're a head teacher or a school owner, you have to look out for the teachers you employ. Most of their licenses have been revoked. They are in hiding, masquerading, yeah. But all is well, hoping that most of those that are teaching are really qualified, honestly. It would be a disservice to the children after paying all that money and you get to know that the teacher that has been in class is not qualified. Well, is that why we do not have really kids not coming out as well? Yeah, so you can grab yourself copies of these and get to know, and of course uncovering the secrets of precious and endangered species, that is shea nut trees. And of course, as you know, shea butter, shea, they make butter, they make oil. It's good for, they make hair products, others make skin products, so it is good. So there is untapped potential in that. Well, of course, leaders and residents say that trees face extinction as a result of overcutting by commercial charcoal dealers. Do they know the gold? Okay. These people know the importance that comes from shea? We could make millions and millions of money making products out of shea, but people are cutting them down because of trees. Because they want to get charcoal. Why? We have, there is a lot of potential. If you look at butter, the shea butters have nutrition benefits such they're rich in vitamin A, E, and F. In addition to other vitamins, they soothe, balance, and hydrate the skin. Can you imagine how many people are facing, skin? People have acne. So there's a lot of potential, honestly, if we really conserve these remaining trees of shea. People are making billions of money actually in Nigeria because of these shea nuts. Can you imagine? Yes, and of course, looking at how government seeks the $6 billion to repair the Uganda house in Nairobi that was burnt during the protests by the Gen Zs in Nairobi. Yeah, and of course, police, prisons officers up in arms over pay raise. Okay. Now, of course, the junior officers say the government lied to them about the 25% pay raise, adding that they received significantly lower increases compared to their superiors. Well, superiors first, then the rest will come later. So please, you don't rush government. It knows what it's doing. Yes, and of course, IGG probes property row at Chamber of Commerce. Yes, of course, public service praises accounting officers right here. It was also here in the New Vision as well. And of course, this is the Prime Minister of or the Katikida of Buganda Kingdom, also imploring people to make students to make ICT and agriculture compulsory. Yes, in learning institutions. Actually, I think, well, agriculture was optional, but I guess it will have to be compulsory this year because we want to shape our children in a way that they have to be job creators, not job seekers. And what a better way to start with agriculture. That is how you can, employ more people and get much more out of your harvest. ICT, I mean, who doesn't know? It is what is trending. IT, ICT, information, technology is really key. There are very many things that we can tap into if we harness these two, like he really emphasized. And of course, with the new curriculum in place, yes. And of course, this new curriculum allows students to study only 12 subjects in Senior 1 and 2, with 11 of being compulsory and 1 elective. 12 subjects compared to us who had like 7, 10. But regardless, it did help us one way or the other. We have little knowledge about some things here. Well, of course, that brings us to the end of press review. And of course, coming up shortly is the business, East Africa business news and what is happening across the borders of Africa. That and more when we come back.
Smart 24, driving business.